Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about a mysterious type of case. It goes way back to the 30s. You're going to check this out. The haunting mystery we have here of
Room 1046.
Come on back, check it out.
Looks like you're ready for today's case.
What is our case today?
Today we will be discussing the chilling and unsolved case from 1935 called the Room 1046 Mystery.
Let's get going.
I guess
Let's
Agent
get
Wells is
going.
exciting. That's our AI investigation team crime force. But let's introduce who we are.
It's your girl Shua.
And I'm Ed, and we are Studio 70. That's our crime force AI investigation team. They're created by AI, and they use AI tools to bring the information to us in an interesting way for these cases. So without further ado, before we get into the case, we want to say,
This is for education, entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research. And always be kind to everyone, friends, family, strangers.
everyone, everywhere. And today is a good, if you've been watching with us, this is a good break from the last 2 weeks that we've done. Terrifying, torture, kill, buying stuff. The last 2 weeks, the things have been very disturbing.
Torture.
But this is kind of cool. This is going back to the 30s, where it's a very, very mysterious case. And we think if you're into the more, whodunit, more old-fashioned mysterious stuff, I think you'll find this one interesting. So let's get into it. Crime Force can give us the background to start off with.
The Room 1046 Mystery is a chilling and unsolved case from 1935 involving the mysterious death of a man known as Roland T. Owen in the Hotel President in Kansas City, Missouri. The circumstances surrounding his death remain one of the most perplexing true crime cases in American history. First, let's start with who was Roland T. Owen. Well, let's start with this. A man arrived at the hotel on January 2, 1935, without any luggage, carrying only a comb and a toothbrush.
Okay.
That's
He was
interesting.
described as having dark hair, a scar on his scalp, and a cauliflower ear, leading some to believe he may have been a boxer or wrestler.
Really?
He gave the name Roland T. Owen, but this was
Stereotype.
later discovered to be false. Roland T. Owen was the alias used by this mysterious man to check into his room, which was room 1046. Now, over the next 2 days, hotel staff noticed strange behavior. He was seen with a mysterious man in black.
There's
A maid
always a man in
reported that
black.
Owen would sit in the dark, appearing nervous. He received multiple phone calls from a man referred to as Don. The maid, Mary Soptic, reported that when she cleaned his room, he seemed paranoid and insisted she leave the door unlocked because he was expecting a visitor.
Okay.
On the night of January 3, 1935, a guest in a nearby room heard loud noises and a commotion from room 1046.
Oh man.
I want to know what happened.
Agent Owens did that on purpose. She
Yeah.
set up this for some suspense, which is cool because this is what this one I like this one better than those torture ones.
Yeah.
All right, so now
let's see what happened at 1046.
So what's interesting? Just a toothbrush and a comb. Weird. So it looks like it was more of like a setup for a place to meet somebody more than it was obviously to stay over. But probably brought him a comb and a toothbrush. I don't know, to freshen up or just in case he needed to sleep over. But the crime force team is going to get into the events in the room and the investigation.
The events in room 1046 in investigation. The discovery of Owen's brutal murder. On the morning of January 4th, 1935, a bellboy entered room 1046 and found Owen badly beaten, tied up, and barely alive. He had been stabbed multiple times, strangled, and had blunt force trauma to his head. In fact, when authorities arrived, they found shocking details. The room was in disarray, towels and bedsheets were soaked in blood. Owen was tied up, his wrists and ankles had ligature marks. Multiple stab wounds were found on his chest. A skull fracture suggested he had been brutally beaten. Strangulation marks were present on his neck.
This is
No
still
weapon
some
was found in the
torture.
room,
I
suggesting
know.
the killer had taken it.
I was trying to ignore some of
Surprisingly,
that stuff.
despite his grievous injuries, Owen was still alive when discovered. However, when questioned, he responded only with nobody when asked who had done this to him. He lost consciousness and died shortly after reaching the hospital. The investigation. Authorities discovered that Roland T. Owen did not exist. His body went unclaimed for months, until a mystery caller arranged and paid for his funeral, stating he had an affair and was punished for it. In 1936, a woman identified Owen as Artemis Ogletree, her missing son from Birmingham, Alabama. Let's now summarize the strange clues and key witnesses. Mysterious calls in Don. During his stay, Owen frequently received phone calls from someone named Don. A maid, Mary Soptic, heard Owen speaking on the phone, saying, "No, Don, I don't want to eat. I am not hungry. I just had breakfast." Witnesses reported a man in a black coat visiting Owen's room multiple times. The guest in room 1048. A woman staying in room 1048 reported hearing loud noises and an argument from room 1046, followed by a thud. Another witness claimed to hear a man and woman arguing in Owen's room. The missing items. The hotel room was stripped of personal belongings, including Owen's toothbrush, comb, clothing, and any identification.
There was not
The
many
room's soap,
items in
shampoo,
there.
and towels
Yeah.
were missing, as if someone had tried to remove evidence. There were no fingerprints. The room appeared to have been cleaned.
Interesting.
The mystery funeral payment. Months after his murder, a strange caller contacted a funeral home, offering to pay for Owen's burial in Kansas City's Memorial Park Cemetery. The anonymous man said he had an affair and was punished for it. Money was sent in cash, wrapped in a newspaper. The break in the case, the true identity of Roland T. Owen. The case was cold until 1936, when a woman in Birmingham, Alabama, recognized Owen's photograph in a newspaper. She identified him as her missing son, Artemis Ogletree, who had disappeared in 1934 at 17 years old.
Wow.
Before his disappearance, Ogletree had been traveling around the country.
I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, it sounds like it could be. I mean, when you call someone Don, it could be the name Don, or it could be Don like Mafia Don.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like if they really did hear a woman's voice, but could the woman's voice just been a maid,
Right.
or was it some? Yeah, it's just too many unanswered questions. Which is sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah. So yeah.
to say this, but
There are definitely a lot of open holes here, and we cannot speculate. Like, they heard a woman, okay? And like you said, it could be the maid, it could be, someone came to visit him. Who knows who this woman was? No one saw this woman. So they can't even identify, what woman it was.
And it's
or
all
who was it.
hearsay, right? So, perfect segue into theories and unanswered questions. Let's see if we can find a little bit more into this mystery.
Despite the discoveries, the case remained unsolved. Several theories emerged. Number 1, a love triangle gone wrong.
Possible?
The mysterious Don could have been a jealous lover or an angry husband. The female voice reported from the room suggests a woman may have been involved. Number 2, organized crime or mafia connection. The cleaned-up crime scene and missing fingerprints suggested a professional hit. The anonymous funeral payment hints at someone trying to cover up the crime. Number 3, secret identity and espionage. Some speculated Owen/Ogletree was involved in illegal activities or was using a fake identity for unknown reasons. Number 4, a random robbery gone wrong.
No.
But why take only personal belongings and leave behind money? Final mystery, the letter in 1936. In 1936, Ogletree's mother received a typewritten letter from someone claiming to be her son. This was strange because Ogletree didn't know how to type. The letter suggested he was alive and well, but he was never seen again. The case today. The Room 1046 mystery remains unsolved, leaving behind eerie questions. Who was Don, and why was Owen so afraid of him? Why was the crime scene cleaned? Who sent the letter in 1936? Who paid for Owen's funeral and why? The case is considered one of the greatest unsolved true crime mysteries of the 20th century.
Wow. Not that much more information. Of course, this is going back to 30s. Thank you, Crime Force, again for helping us with this. Oh man. So, I'll start with you and I'll give
Let
my
me start
two.
with you.
You start with me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's one of two things. I think it was either a love triangle that went wrong, but the reason why I'm a little bit leaning, well, I don't know now, because it was at a hotel. Maybe the guy was like, okay, I heard you mess with my wife. I'm going to meet you at the hotel that you guys were goofing around on. Do you want any, no, I don't want to eat, maybe it was like the guy knew he was going to die. He just says, okay, well, I caught you. I wanted to meet there. And he set this whole thing up and she was there and whatever. But that's possible. The second thing, it could be, okay, come on, cat. Oh, hold on a little second. Here's our little rescue blue cat, our black cat. She's awesome. She meows. Little side thing. She meows once every 6 months. She doesn't meow. She's a very happy
She
cat.
meows when
She's
when
the
Ed
most
steps
loving
on her,
cat
on her
in
tongue,
the world.
her tail.
Yeah, if I step on her tail, she doesn't meow.
Her
She's
tail.
perfectly loving and happy rescue. And I got her around Halloween. Her name is Boo. Many years back. She's like 6 or 7 years old, I think. Anyhow, a little sidetrack there. She was just trying to jump in my lap. But it could be the mafia. It seems a lot of signs. I don't think a jealous lover would pay for the funeral. So I sound awful because I know with the Italian background, I always say the mob. I think that's probably my number one. But let's go to you.
Yes, I definitely think there's definitely a lot of gaps in this one. So speculation is the only way, right, to just try to come up with some type of conclusion. And
Right.
I think, of course, the mob, only because of the cleaning, and it seemed like it was more professional. They didn't find that much evidence. When someone actually does something and scared, they really probably a lot of evidence behind. This one was very meticulous. They basically, like, no fingerprints. So they probably was prepared, and then the woman could have been somebody, could have been a love triangle thing as well. I mean, that definitely happens all the time.
If you came to me, I don't have. Oh, I used to have a sound effect for The Godfather. I don't have it anymore.
Happened to
I
it?
removed it. I put our other fun stuff in here. Like that, our other music. But if you came to me, this would never happen. But Don, well, that's the whole thing too. What a name, Don. Because like I said, Don could be Don, your name, and then Don could be like Don Corsone, whatever the name, Don Vinci, Don whatever.
Don Vinci.
Whatever. So yeah, it's. But I wanted to bring this one up because this one was a kind of a mysterious one. Yes,
I was about to
there's
ask,
a little
what
bit
made
of torture.
us to decide to do this one?
What I try to do is, I know people always loves the latest and greatest, what's going on now. There's plenty of stuff. We covered a few cases. It's almost like too flooded with everything going on. And some of the cases from, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 75 years ago are just as sensational as the ones today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just today we're just overflooded with a lot of information. We don't have as much information back then, but we have enough to kind of go over. And I think in some ways, when somebody's looking, let me say it like this. People are always looking for the next best thing or the next sensational crime. But instead of looking forward to it, there is so much in the back. And if you look back, it is new because you've never heard it before.
Exactly.
So I like
It's
to bring
new to
these
you.
forward. Yeah, exactly. It's new to you.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you guys so much for joining us. We want you to come back and watch us. That's really the only main thing. But of course, if you could just take 2 seconds, hit subscribe. It takes, boop. I know people get sick of it with YouTube channels, but because it really helps us out a lot, because we're doing this because we like doing this, but we need to know that you guys like it too. So we keep it
like
going.
to watch,
Because we want to know if we should, keep this going. So definitely do it. We appreciate it. Any final words?
Yes,
Sure.
just wanted to say thank you for listening. And what do you think? Do you like us going back to the 1930s? I know you was not born. Even your parents probably wasn't even born. I know I wasn't born. Or you're just is like, okay, let's just move forward. But one thing I do know, history is very important in all aspects. You know, you should know your history. You should know things that happened in the past. It can help you in the future. So I think that is important. And I think Ed definitely made a good point when he said that everything is flooded, which it is. At least you can go back and you can see the trend. You know, you can see the trend of what happened in the 1920s and the 1930s and what's happening today.
Yeah, the progress.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Studio 70.